I'm a little bit more of a black sheep of my family.
Are you sure that you want to do this interview?
And he's probably going to get so upset that I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It's not a fair fight. I just can't keep on talking about this. I don't want to cry.
Okay.
Krista, it's so nice for you to join us here today. Travis has a little bit of a confession he wants to make. I don't know if you've heard this before, but try her.
Okay, so, I've known the family for a while, right? Yes. It's been like a long time. Yes. Your grandmother, God rest her soul.
She loved you.
She did.
She loved Travis.
She wanted to set me up
If it was Travis, I'm sorry. If it was Travis, she was just...
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Between them, I don't know.
There was a funny story, actually. We were at some news conference, and I was asking your dad, like, some tough questions, and I ran into him in the washroom, and he's like, I don't know why my mother said that she was your favorite.
You were her?
I was her favorite. Yeah. Anyways, but I was going to tell you this, that I think it was you. It might have been one of your other sisters, but your grandma wanted to set me up.
Oh, that was Kayla.
But it did not happen. And you are with Dave. You've been with Dave for a while. So tell me a little bit about your husband, how you met him and that relationship.
Well, we met at the gym.
You did?
Yes, we met at the gym. Surprise, surprise. And we've been together now for going on 16 years. And it's interesting, though, because there's a 15-year age gap between us. So when I met him, we were more so friends a few years before we actually started dating. And whenever I needed advice, I would ask him, like, I just message him and be like, hey, I need help with this. Like, hey, I'm dealing with a crazy boyfriend. Like, I need your help with this.
Right.
And he was always someone that I could go to and trust, like, instantly. So we had that kind of friendship before we actually started dating.
We're asking you about your husband because we're going to get into some of the issues that he's had. He is still a Toronto police officer.
Yeah.
Before we filmed this, we had a conversation with him, with you, about some of those issues. And I have to say, that's the first time I've ever spoken to him. And you could genuinely tell that he loves his job. Yeah. And he loves the people that he, works with, and he's truly dedicated to that. So we're going to get into that in a bit, but we're going to start with a bit of
we're gonna zoom out and we're going to talk about kind of family. For many years, still, sometimes you are in the headlines. Mm-hmm. Let me read you some of these headlines. Ready?
Yes.
Doug Ford's daughter posts another anti-vax rant. Krista Ford's family chewed her out for Twitter comments. Krista Ford under fire after "Don't dress like a whore" tweet. So, what's the perception of who you are in those headlines versus the reality of who you are?
I think the perception is maybe I'm a little bit more of a black sheep in the family.
Yeah.
And I think the reality is that I'm a little bit more of a black sheep of my family or of a family or just, every family has a black sheep, more or less. And I've always kind of marched to the rhythm of my own drum. Like I was telling Carmen before, my sisters grew up with cheerleading and modeling, and I did boxing, wrestling, and started my high school girls flag football league.
Yeah.
So I've kind of always just done my own thing through life, and I've never been afraid to have an opinion. And unfortunately, fortunately, cool, whatever you want to say, my family's always been in the spotlight. So if I said anything, it would become the spotlight.
So are you okay with being the black sheep, or is that a difficult place to be sometimes?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
That's the thing. Like, every family, everyone is a bit different, and there is always someone maybe that sticks out a bit more than others. But very few people have to live such a public way of seeing that, right? So you can still do that. We can all still do that, but no one sees that up close and personal quite like you have. So I think maybe we'll take you back to, if people don't know, your uncle, Rob Ford, the late Rob Ford, was the
best mayor of Toronto.
Your father, Doug Ford, eventually became city councillor. He went on to, as we know, he's the premier now. So when you were in the headlines, your family was already heavily involved in politics. What was that like? And, were there a lot of conversations, or was everyone just like, respecting who you were and what you had to say?
That's interesting. I don't think the media respected our family, especially when my Uncle Rob was in office. I think the tides definitely turned once my dad became premier, and it was a lot more serious in some way, shape, or form. But when my uncle was the mayor, the media was just annihilating my family. And, you know, again, it's interesting. We just are strong in ways. Like, you're just born into it, and there's no like, oh, I don't want to do this. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I do in my life, like, I strive to, like, I really love taking my husband's last name. So I love to go by Krista Haynes. I like that kind of like privacy it gives me, because the second I say Krista Ford in all of Ontario, they're always just like, are you related to the premier?
Right.
So I do love going that low key avenue. But when you're born into it, it's just something that you almost don't even think about it. And you'll always be, oh, that's Doug Ford's daughter, or that's Doug Ford's son-in-law, is all the headlines were saying in the media. So it's just
what do you think not appearing on a Christmas card makes headlines?
Member notably absent from the Christmas card of Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Ford is pictured with his wife and 3 of his 4 daughters, but not his daughter Krista. She made headlines throughout the pandemic for her anti-vaccine and anti-lockdown stance.
First of all, I think it should just be the husband and the wife anyways. Yeah. They don't need to drag everyone into it. But the 2020 Christmas card, when everyone was just like, so my sister, like, we would have to like be quiet around, like, everyone was surrounded in my parents' house. My family couldn't get together because everyone was saying don't get together with your families, but anyone with a brain was.
Yeah.
And so my sisters would like come over to our house for like some like kumbaya, because the world was just so crazy. So that my sister came over to our house for the 2020 Christmas card, and then after that, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to be in a Christmas card again. I think it's stupid. Like, it's stupid.
Mm-hmm. I want to loop back to the Rob stuff, because obviously, you know, there was much.
Can I just?
Sure.
Before, it's not stupid in the way that I don't want to do. It's not a public thing. Do you know what I mean? If we had a family Christmas card and we gave it to our family friends, I would be on a family Christmas card. I'm not interested in being on the Premier of Ontario's Christmas card.
So the so-called rift wasn't as it was portrayed.
Yeah, like, just let's send it to our friends and family.
I mean, I think
the
whole deal is so ridiculous, right? Yeah. I mean, like, let's talk about the Rob days again, because, you know, there was a lot of local interest, but there was international interest as well. I just watched this Netflix documentary on that time period, and I thought it was somewhat unfair, because, you know, the only person that I thought presented another perspective was Jerry. And if folks don't know who Jerry is, he did security for Rob. And I thought that, you know, there wasn't, in 2025 when it was released, a level of empathy and understanding for addiction and addictions issues that Rob was going through.
They say they have a video of you smoking crack cocaine. And he told me, don't worry, buddy, there's no video.
Trust me, I've seen it. He is smoking drugs in this video.
It's just lies after lies and lies.
Whoa, I can't believe I'm here right now. Like this.
But what was that like as a family to go through that in such a public way?
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I mean, I can closely relate to it because my husband's an alcoholic and he's been sober for 18 years now, I believe.
Yeah.
Could be wrong on that math. So he kind of identified the struggles that he was facing and wanted to have a conversation and just say, you know, I'm here. If you need to talk to someone, I can see the signs.
Yeah.
But family-wise, we have a lot of pride, and I think that they just thought that, you know, it's not an addiction. Like, it's not an addiction, and you can just kind of keep moving forward, and it won't affect your life, and it did, and yeah.
It's very. I mean, it is very sad,
It
right?
is.
And
It is.
you know, with everyone kind of watching every single move during that time period, and even when he was sick in the hospital, that must have added an extra layer of difficulty.
It was to get in there and just have the privacy. They did end up giving us quite a bit of privacy, but it's tough. It's really tough. My dad protects my protected my uncle a lot.
Yeah.
They're
very close.
Very, 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 very close.
Yeah. Speaking of your dad, I mean, everybody's going to watch this and say, oh, okay, Krista Ford's doing an interview. What's the relationship like with Doug Ford? Where is that right now?
Oh, like he's my dad.
Yeah.
And that's what, it drives me nuts that some people, and I hope everyone has a relationship with their parents that I do, because at the end of the day, like through our disagreements, he's the Premier of Ontario and he's also my dad.
Yeah.
I don't have to agree. If Kathleen Wynne was my mother, like, would I be agreeing with her? No, I would still love her as my mother, but I wouldn't be publicly agreeing with on every single thing that she does. And it's the same thing with the Premier of Ontario. Like, I love my dad for a relationship we have as daughter and dad.
Yeah.
The Premier, I can have opposing opinions, and I'm a 35-year-old adult. And if I want to express, you know, that I have a different opinion, I can do that.
Why do you think that's so surprising to folks? Because they would assume, okay, well, you know, she's just going to be quiet if she disagrees with something.
I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know. And that's what it just goes back to. And you just wonder, you're just like, do you have a good relationship with your family? Like, family is everything to me and my family. And it doesn't matter, you know, if we say one thing or it's your family.
So he's not calling you like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, he's calling me saying, what the hell? he's saying, what the hell? But he doesn't really go on social media and he doesn't really understand social media. So I think it's somebody that shows him stuff.
Well, no, but he's so good on it. Like all his cooking videos.
Cheesecake videos.
I don't know. I think he thinks of them and I think they're cute. I think he might think about them and I don't know.
People assume that you have privilege, that you have access, you have money because of who your father is. Is that the reality or is that a misconception?
That's a very strong misconception. Once again, like just as I separate we live a very independent life from that, and no, we don't. And I'll actually go out of my way, like I said, I'll use Haynes whenever I can just to keep that privacy. And
because
it just gives me the ick.
Well, we're going to talk about the GoFundMe once we get into the stuff around Dave. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's what a lot of people's reaction was when there were a lot of headlines. Sure. So the Premier's daughter is asking the public for money. WTF, right?
Yeah.
So do you understand where folks get that from?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. It's the same people that don't understand that we're separated, right? Like people will message like, I can't believe you go to family dinners. And it's just like, I feel bad for you thinking that I'm going to abolish my relationship with my family just because we don't agree on everything.
Okay, so let's talk about it now. How do you? There are so many granular details to what is going on. High level, what's the story? And from your perspective.
Yeah, my husband is trying to hold the Toronto Police Service Command accountable for public safety and officer safety, and he's been severely charged for it.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the charges. There is this dispute that is ongoing. There's hearings that have been happening. There's one happening soon. Toronto Police obviously have a very different view of all of this, but tell me a little bit of some of the charges.
Okay, so the charges, social media. So posting in uniform is a big charge. And then there's like individual counts. Now, what you have to understand is that these charges, he's been posting in uniform to put the service in a very good light for several years. Like he started Instagram in 2013. I think he was posting in uniform in 2015 onwards.
Yeah.
It's not been an issue since COVID, the mandates, as he came back from unpaid leave. And so they charged him. One of the posts is, I kid you not, it's a City News clipping in a soup kitchen helping dish out Thanksgiving meals.
Quite often, our communities are dealing with such difficult times on a day-to-day basis, whether it's crime, whether it's mental health. So this, we find as police officers, just give us an ability to talk to our community members and let them know that we appreciate them.
for context, he was the sergeant for the neighborhood community officer. So he was an NCO officer at the time.
Yeah.
That is their job. Their job is to build relationships within the community to establish trust. They charged him for reposting a news clipping in his uniform.
So when we talk about charges, though, we're not talking like criminal charges. These are all internal.
These are all
within
internal
the Toronto
charges.
Police, and those matters are dealt with internally at tribunals, which you guys have been a part of for years now, right?
Yes.
To try to resolve this. So tell us a bit about that process and where it's going.
It's slow. It's slow. So slow that even throughout the investigation, so one of his sets of charges, when the service puts an officer under investigation, they have a 6-month window to lay the charge.
Yeah.
They put the 6-month window in effect to make sure that it's not an abuse to the officer, not just to say, hey, you're under investigation for forever. So they have a 6-month window to do their investigation and put down the charges. If they need extra time, they have to get a formal written letter from the chief of police to say, we need to extend this investigation by X, Y, and Z.
Right.
One of the charges, they decided to go well over the 6-month period and proceeded to charge my husband. And we told them, you can't charge us because you're breaking the collective bargaining agreement. Like you're breaking my protection.
So essentially what you're saying is that after COVID, he was opposed to kind of the mandate that the
Vaccine mandate.
The vaccine mandate. And things kind of snowballed after that. Do you feel that he was unfairly targeted?
Do you think it was because of that he was targeted? Like, what do you attribute that?
Well, why didn't they complain about his social media in 2018, in 2017, in 2016? Being charged for giving a 6-year-old child with terminal cancer a police badge and a police kit.
Wow. You got your own badge with your own name on it. Okay, and you can pin that right on your shirt. And then that's an official name tag, just like the ones that we wear.
That is so
cool.
And posting it on his social media while he was the neighborhood community sergeant. Is that a good look or a bad look for the service? Why are you charging an officer for doing his job and posting about it?
And you also don't think that like being the premier's son-in-law is helping at all?
Well, I mean, if you just Google it, you don't even know his name.
Right.
It's Doug Ford's son-in-law.
Yeah.
Doug Ford's son-in-law. We're just trying to stay in our own lane. We're just trying to live our own life. And you can't. That kind of goes in with the policy or the privilege that you were mentioning. You can't. You don't have that opportunity.
But do you think that is factoring in your view, when it comes to how this specific case is being handled?
I do, and the reason, and I like to say no, everything's fair.
Yeah.
But the way the service has conducted themselves this entire time, and prior when we were speaking to 2 different lawyers, they had mentioned that you're not going to get a fair hearing or trial just because of the relation, whether that be positive or negative.
Right.
It's still there, and it was still said by 2 high lawyers.
Well, you think that they're making an example of
Absolutely.
him? Yeah.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you ever talked to your dad about this? And does he say one way or the other, give you any advice or how to handle it, or like?
No, I mentioned it to my dad against Dave. Dave wanted to do it all by himself, but obviously my dad, right? I mentioned it to my dad because my husband is going through hell, and just buckle up. Like, is that what you want to do? Like, if that's what you want to do, then do it.
A couple of things here. I mean, we talked about this on the phone briefly as well. I said, are you sure that you want to do this interview?
Yeah.
Are you worried about potential blowback because you're talking about this publicly? I mean, you've done so on your social media.
Yeah.
But this is a different thing, right? This is a different forum.
No, I think it needs to be addressed. The way the service has conducted themselves through this investigation makes me very concerned for how they investigate the public. If they're not even following the rules, like they know they charged my husband outside of the 6-month window that they had to charge him for, and we had to fight tooth and nail, put through motions, spend thousands and thousands of dollars for them to drop the charge that they had no grounds to charge because they fell outside the window. What are they getting away with?
You said that this broke him. Tell me kind of what the toll has been from an emotional standpoint, and also for his reputation.
We're still trying to figure that out. Leading up to for years, I mean, we can talk mental health, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like for years leading up to the last 6 years, my husband suffered with, mental health episodes where he has so much. Finally, he kind of was like, okay, I have PTSD, right? And then that triggered it from the toxic environment. But for years, there'd be days where with shift work, like going in for midnights, he would be paralyzed in the shower for like 2 hours until the water ran cold and he could not physically move. But he knew he had a job to do and a team to show up for and a team to lead. And he got to work and he led his team and he'd come home and he'd crash again. And this cycle continued itself right up until once again where the service decided to breach their collective bargaining agreement. His boss came in and said, effective immediately, you are transferred to PVO. And he's like, PVO? What is PVO? Police vehicle operations. That has never had a staff sergeant in that position ever.
Yeah.
Essentially, they were throwing him into a broom closet. And from there, he came home and he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, because now you were taking his ability to pull himself together to lead his team, and you just took the most important thing from him, which was his officers.
Yeah. So as a wife, what's it like to watch your husband go through this?
It's hard. I don't want to cry, so I'm just thinking of like really good things.
Yeah.
But it's challenging. It's challenging. He's very strong, he's very passionate, and I know I just can't keep on talking about this.
Okay.
I don't want to cry. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You want to pause?
No.
Okay.
It's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we always have each other. So very thankfully, there've been very little days where we're both down. So one of us is up, one of us is down, and we just like push through because we know at the end of the day. And I was talking to another friend, very, very influential, a lawyer, and he said, Krista, at the end of the day, if your husband is found guilty for everything and a massive 50-page document comes out and everyone gets to read it, are you going to be embarrassed? I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I pray people take enough interest to read about this story. And then he said, then keep fighting.
Yeah.
You've kind of touched on this, but I wonder if we could put a finer point on, obviously you're fighting this and you're doing all this because it's what you think is right, you guys think is right, and you want to, be vindicated in that. But also it's about the institution itself.
Yes.
So talk a bit about that.
There needs to be, and it's everywhere, right? It's rampant. It's not just the police service. It's the hospitals. It's, organizations. It's massive organizations. Yeah. They need such a massive overhaul in accountability that it's not even funny. And it goes back to who's going to do it. Right? Like who is going to do it? Every single, like if I go to an event and I talk to somebody that has been high up in the service and then they're retired, they think it's like comical. They think it's comical what we're doing because it's like, you're not going to win. You're not going to.
I've heard that one before.
You're not going to win. Yeah. And obviously it's been pretty okay and you're not going to win. And it's just like, is this what we want for our future? To just like go to your job, know that the bosses hate you, the head of the corporations do not give a shit if you die tomorrow.
Yeah.
They'll just replace you. Or do we actually want to hold institutions accountable?
So there are folks that are going to watch this, a lot I assume, that'll say, okay, this is a workplace issue. There were policies in place. That policy was breached. That policy was breached. Da, 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 da. That's that, right?
But then they won't consider the services breaching their policy.
Right.
They won't consider the tit for tat of why don't they have to follow their policies? Why can the collective bargaining agreement be broken? Why can the Police Services Act be broken? Why don't they have to follow the rules?
So do you remain optimistic? I guess this goes back to the question of fairness. In your view, obviously, Dave is in the right. Are you optimistic, though, that this process can be fair and there can be an outcome in your favor?
I hope so. And it's not even our
Does doing this
favor.
help?
I don't know. But there's no publicity is bad publicity, right? Or what's it called? That's okay.
I don't know.
Just don't give my personal
find
phone
out.
number out to people, and we'll be good. We'll be good. I just at this point doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
But
does
you're
it
kind of at that
matter?
point, eh?
Yeah.
Where you're just like let it all hang
Everything
out.
at it.
Does it matter? And I was actually very hopeful that the mainstream media was going to carry this through, because at one point you can't just be completely on one side. Like when you start seeing the documents, when you start looking at the disclosure,
Yeah.
it's pretty damning. Like and I'm not saying this from a police wife. I'm not saying it because it's my husband. It just doesn't look good on the service.
Yeah.
This is an underdog situation. This is not a private, it's not a fair fight. We're been abandoned by the association. They never thought in a million years, when they said we are not supporting you, they thought that they had it in the bag. I know they did. And it was my idea, because we were just like, we're screwed. Like we're so close, but we're so screwed.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Everyone else does it.
Yeah.
Let's put out a GoFundMe. And if we get the money, let's do it. Like, let's hire a private lawyer to run this.
Where are things at now with this whole drama?
So we get through the tribunal.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
How long could this go on for?
Years.
How much have you spent on legal fees?
We're going to be close to $100,000.
Yeah. How much have you raised?
28, and then just like 31,000 with e-transfers.
So folks that think, though, okay, they're getting family money again, that's not the case. Like you're just struggling financially to pay for this. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But you know what? God is good, and it's all going to work out.
Where does faith come into this whole thing?
My granddad, my mom's dad, he was a World War II veteran and came back, watched his best friend get blown up beside him, came back with a bunch of issues, and then turned his life over to Christ. And my mom's family are devout Christians. And growing up, when my mom worked, he would be babysitting us with my grandma, and he would teach me Bible verses every day. And we were learning John 3:16 at the time, and I was 3. And he pushed me off his lap and had a heart attack and died right there. And I truly believe he loved Jesus with his whole heart, like his whole heart. And I just feel like something like came into me. It came into me when he passed away. It was like, I just feel protected throughout my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's a very, 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 very big thing in our life. And when, Dave and I got together, he knows that I'm very strong and I have a very strong faith. And he didn't, because he's just like, I had nothing,
Yeah.
right? Like, shit my entire life. There's always been a roadblock, So of course you believe because your life has been great. Yeah. And it wasn't until he hit rock bottom where he's just like, as God, he's put all these problems in front of me my entire life and I couldn't see them. And now he's seen that it was God preparing him for the battles that he's facing today.
And do you think faith is going to help you carry forward through all this?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I hope if anyone's struggling out there, find Jesus. At the end of the day, people should care because this is the 4th largest police organization in North America. And the way they're treating their employees, plural, because remember, Dave is really the only one that is standing up to this. It matters. They're the police. And holding the police services accountable is very important.
Yeah. I mean, your dad said he's going for a 4th term recently. Does that come as a surprise to you and the family?
No.
No, hey?
How do you think he's doing as premier, by the way? Since we're being open and honest here.
I think he's taken like a more of a centrist platform, and obviously Ontario is, you couldn't have a diehard conservative in the province of Ontario, and he's probably going to get so upset that I'm saying that.
Yeah,
but it's true. Like it's true, and it's not even him, it's the policy makers behind it. It's a whole team, right? Like you guys know this. It's not one man making all these decisions. It's a scarily massive amount of people behind closed doors that are making these policies and, playing politics.
We invited him on this show. He I think he would do it, but to what you're saying, right? There's so many different people in his ear. Do you think that's been easy or difficult for him? Because I know when he was at City Hall, it wasn't that situation. And now there are so many cooks in the kitchen, for lack of a better phrase.
I think it's difficult for him because, he tries to escape his detail to go for like a Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just left my detail.
It's interesting you say that he's kind of moved to the center. I think some people's assessment would be that. Is that him?
I don't think that's him. That's my opinion.
Right.
What do you mean?
That's my opinion.
Oh, what do you? I don't know. What do you?
There's a role, right? There's a role, and to get the majority, you have to be appealable to the majority. I don't think I'm someone who's appealable to the majority.
Well, I think I would agree with that.
Very nice.
No, it's true.
Listen,
but it's good. Right? You have your cup of tea.
Okay, so we come to this part. It's the end of the show. We do the uncensored rapid fire, where we just say something. What's the first thing you think of? Say it out loud. Okay. One word to describe the last year.
Chaotic.
Okay.
Chaotic. I asked Pierre Poilievre this one, and she said I shouldn't ask you, but I'm going to ask you in any case. What do you bench?
Well, that's a loaded question. So I used to bench 225 when I was younger growing up. And that's important, okay? Like, that is important. But these days, it's not so much. Like, I throw sandbags around, so I don't do traditional. I know this is a rapid fire. I don't do traditional. I don't weightlift traditionally anymore. We do a lot of, we throw sandbags around. And so, I'll just throw a 100-pound sandbag over my shoulder,
just like that.
It's just like that.
100 pound.
225, though. Is that more or less than you?
No comment. Go ahead.
Remember, I was young.
Your grandmother once told us that one day a Ford would be the prime minister. Which Ford is that going to be?
Next question.
Is there anxiety around that? Do you think he'll run?
Pardon?
Do you think that he'll actually run for Conservative leader at some point?
Yeah, at some point.
All right. One thing that surprised you about yourself and your husband through all of this?
Our resiliency.
One thing people don't know about you that has nothing to do with politics.
I know I love animals. But I know that kind of sucks, but
no,
I love animals.
Yeah.
Favorite politician?
I don't have one at the moment. I really don't. I'm disappointed with a lot of politicians right now.
All right. One thing that annoys you about your husband, and one thing that he
Oh my gosh, is chewing.
is chewing.
That's
Chews
all
loudly.
then.
She eats very slow, by the way.
Yeah.
Not the chewing, eh? You don't like the chewing. Okay.
Favorite sibling?
Kara.
Oh, there you go. Uh-oh. You brought us some cookies today.
Yes, and that's Kyla.
There you go. Love cookies. Okay, last one. Biggest lesson this entire period has allowed you to take in, Amara?
Patience. I'm not patient. My husband's very patient. I want things like that.
Yeah.
And this has been a game of patience. Don't lose your cool and just like keep on keeping on. Patience. I got none.
All right.
And you wanted to do a little plug for
Yes.
the advocacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe like, can you put like a picture of him up?
Of course.
Sure. So we foster animals and we are very involved in rescue. So right now we're fostering this amazing Rottweiler German Shepherd mix. He's around 5 years old. His name is Rex. And he is looking for his forever home.
Okay.
He's a very good boy. And if anyone out there is looking to add a pet to their family, please consider adopting from your local humane society or shelter.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you,
Yes,
Krista.
thank you,
We appreciate
Krista.
you doing this.
Great getting to know you.
If you like this episode and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you again next time.